In this video, we're going to be working on a Nintendo Switch that was mailed in with the following issues. Let's see. The console was mailed in, taken apart like this. Everything is apart. So whenever you see a Switch that has been taken apart, it means you're going to see a lot of bad things on the board. I'm very sure. Switch had no power. Replaced USB-C connector and received 5 volts, 3 amps per my USB meter. Replaced P13 USB and M92 T36. And while replacing P13 USB, my hand shook and I knocked 6 what looks like caps. Should we spend any time working on this board? He replaced everything on the board except for the 6 component that he knocked off. That's it. Before we look at the board, let me just plug the charger. Black screen. So we're not getting 5 volts like the customer mentioned, and we're not getting any amps being drawn by the board. Totally dead. Totally dead. Flip the cable and same thing. Meter is dead. Nothing. Since customer changed 94% of components on the board and he knocked off only 6 components, let's see what's going on. Start from here. USB-C port is not soldered properly. That's number 1. Look at this pin moving. And this pin is weak also, this one. And this pin is moving. This pin is moving. We're gonna have to remove this port and redo it and see if we have any damaged pads under the port. That's number 1. This area looks like it has not been tampered with. Flux, 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 flux everywhere. And this chip, we're gonna have to redo this chip. Customer said it's a brand new chip, so we're gonna keep it and redo it. We have some bridges here. That's number 2. The LCD connector looks good. Okay, flip the board. And that's the P13 USB chip. It's not soldered on properly. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 missing components. 6 missing components in this area, and we need to fix this chip. It's not soldered on properly. Now there's a much lower chance of getting this board fixed because we do not know what else is going on with the board. I'm sure the board was exposed to a lot of heat, and a lot of heat can never be good. So we're gonna fix what we see. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna invoice the customer for the repair attempt and send it back to him. And that is the reason why we charge a repair attempt fee, because it's going to take a lot of work to go through all the mess on this board. Just imagine you have 2 or 3 of those repairs a day where you spend a lot of time on them and you do not fix them, and you do not get paid for the time spent working on them. And same for people who spend hours and hours working on one device. That doesn't justify cost. You're not going to make it for long. So what I want to do is remove this USB-C connector. I want to inspect the pads under it to make sure all the pads are good. Right now we do not know if we have a Hiroshima bomb under this connector. One way to find out. We do not have any missing pads, but we may have had a short on some of those pads. We're gonna start by cleaning the pads off. My kids just came to the shop and we have a piano out there. They're playing with the piano, so you may hear the sound of the piano playing. But what can you do? Okay, and let's inspect the connector. I mean, if you look here, the inner pins never actually made a connection with the pads on the board. Look at this, they're still golden color. This one made a connection, this one, and these barely, but those, they never made any connection. We're gonna pre-apply solder on those pads. And now all pins are solid. I'm gonna go over those pins with my soldering iron so we can make them even more solid. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Very good. Pins are solid, no problem. We're gonna solder the back. Right, so the soldering of the charging port or the USB-C port is done. Now we're gonna move on to redoing the M92 chip and then the P13 chip and solder the missing components, the 6 million missing components that we have, and we should be all good. If after doing all that the console does not work, then we immediately invoice the customer and mail it back to him. That yellowish flux is not ours. And now the chip is soldered on properly. Let's do those missing components. Only 6 missing components, that's it. Only 6 microscopic missing components. Really easy. We're gonna extract the components from a donor board, and I have one here. And we have a few more to go, 3 more. Very nice. We have 2 more. Only 6 components missing. Not a big deal. And we have 1 more cap to solder, and then we'll move on to the M92 chip, and then we'll try our luck. I mean, there's a 90% chance of this board being fixed if it was not tampered with. But right now we do not know what's going to happen after we finish with all the soldering and all the work that we are doing right now. Okay, so we're all good. We are all good on this side. Let's take a look at the M92 chip. And I think for this one I'm gonna remove the whole chip and redo it. I'm assuming that the P13 and M92 chip are good. Customer said that he replaced them, but we do not know the condition of those ICs. I guess we'll find out. And it looks like customer never cleaned up unleaded solder from anywhere on the board. Look at this. I mean, the chip was barely making a connection here. We knocked off a cap on the right side, but that's not a problem. No problem. The cap will adjust after we apply hot air. I mentioned in the previous video that a lot of the M92 chips are being sold as fake. Scammers do it so they can make money. And honestly, right now, I do not know if that chip that the customer put on is a good chip or not, but we're gonna try it. One way to find out. Look at that cap, how it adjusted itself. We still have a bridge here, but we're gonna clean that. Let's focus on chip. Very nice. And now I'm gonna press down on the chip and just go over it one more time. And we should be all good. Let's see if we can clean up this. Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? You can run, but you cannot hide. I mean, even if that guy ran away, he thinks I cannot get a replacement. Come on, go back to your place. Good boy. Good boy. Now you're being a good boy. No need to do anything else. We are good. Just quick cleanup and moment of truth. This board will either work, or I may be a nice guy and change that chip if it doesn't work. let's see. So turn the power bank on and let's see. It's on. The meter is on at 5 volts. 5 volts is not good. It should be 15 volts. So as you can see, we were able to get the meter to power on after we did what we did, but the meter is showing 5 volts. It should be at 15 volts and not 5. Right now it could be one of the two issues. Either the M92 chip is not good, or it could be the USB-C port. I'm gonna start by replacing this chip and we'll see what happens. I told you I do not want to spend a lot of time on this board, but I have to just at least change those two components and see if that will make any difference. The P13 chip is not going to affect the negotiation of voltage. What's up, brother? Yeah, we were able to get it done. We had to modify an HDMI port a bit, but it fits perfect. Are you paying cash or credit?
Yeah.
Cash or credit?
Credit, please.
No problem. Okay, so let's see if we have it go now. Power bank on. And yes, 15 volts. 15 volts. So even though the customer said that he replaced the M92 chip, it's probably a fake chip or a bad chip. I'm gonna give this board to Big Boss to reassemble and test, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Big Boss reassembled the switch, and we're gonna go ahead and test. He did confirm that the switch is working, but I want to finish the video and show you that the switch is working. We did an amazing job. Turn the power bank on, and right there, and you see the logo on the screen here. So the switch is working and everything is good. I honestly had maybe 30% doubt that this switch may not work because we do not know how much the board was exposed to heat, but I'm glad that we were able to get this done. As you have seen, customer said that he did replace the M92 chip, and I told you this before. There are a lot of fake M92 chips being sold in the market, and the reason people sell them is so they can make money. It's easy money, and you get the chip, you try it, it doesn't work, and you think that there's something else wrong with the switch. The reason I know this is because I passed through it. I used to buy my chips off a vendor. I had a console, I replaced the chip, and I had the meter flicker. So I knew that it must be the M92 chip. I tried to solder it again, same problem. I tried another chip, same problem. I tried another chip, same problem. I gave up on it. So the following day I said, why not try another M92 chip just to see if that makes any difference. And at that time I had one other chip from a different vendor. I tried it and it worked. So from then I knew that there are some fake chips being sold in the market. I did confirm that by seeing other people on the web mention that. Right now we stopped dealing with vendors buying those chips. We deal straight with the factory, and now we are selling those chips out to the public, and prices are honestly unbeatable. So that's it. It's Saturday, 5:30. I think I'm gonna leave home early today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.